All right, the live stream should be live. I'm just going to give it a minute here till I see it show up. It's usually a few seconds behind, but all right, looks like we're good. Maybe. It's still loading. Okay. Well, now it should be good enough. So this is the video I was going to actually make for tomorrow, but I figured since I'm sitting here at the computer, and whoops, I just smacked the mic. Sorry about that. I have expressive hands. But anyway, I figured since I'm going to be sitting here at the computer making this video anyway, let's just go live stream it instead of just saving it till tomorrow morning, although I am counting it as tomorrow's video. All right. Yeah, so I'm just going to go ahead, jump right in. I've got a scene set up here. I've got a bunch of little white platforms set up. You just jump from one to the other. And underneath, if you ever hit this here, you can go ahead, put some animated sprite, maybe some lava or something like that on it. It's going to go ahead and respawn you to the last respawn point that you touched. And I'm going to go ahead and put some respawn points up here. And as you go through them, it's going to go and set that respawn point to your character. So that way there, you can respawn in different spots. So let's go ahead. We'll start getting some of this set up. So the three main things you need is a place to respawn. Some place in the world. I'm going to call those spawn points. And you can make them anything. I'm actually just going to make them empties. Well, let's go ahead and make them empties. No, let's keep them some sort of visual representation for it. We can always go ahead and turn the sprites off. We don't need them. So let's do something different. Let's do a diamond. All right, I'll just drag that into my scene. That's too big. Probably about half that size would be good. There we go. And I'm going to change the name to spawn point. And I've got the mic. I got to move the mic a bit. It's hovering over my arm and I can't get position right. There we go. Kupak, hi, how you doing? It's not necessarily part of a video series, although I am using the same assets as the 2D series. This will work with anything. It's just demonstrating different spawn points. Triple storm here? I'm not sure you're talking about, YouTube. Cool. Okay, anyway, so I'm going to go ahead, call this spawn point. And there's a couple things here I think I'm going to want to happen. I'm going to put a script on this. When I hit it, I want it to go ahead and we need to be able to store this location somewhere. Usually I'd have some sort of game manager that if I'm only storing one, I'd probably put it there. We could also just have a component that we attach to the player and store it there. I think that'd probably be the easiest way to do this. So the idea is when I hit it, it's going to store its location on a component that I have attached to the player. And provided I haven't hit any other one, when I go ahead and die, or you could have teleporters in the game, or for whatever reason you need to go back to that point, I'll have some function that just tells it to go ahead and put them there. Now, of course, later on you can get all fancy and put particle systems and sounds like that, but I'm going to keep it super simple. So let's go ahead. We'll jump into scripts. And there's three I'm going to need. One for the spawn point for when I collide with it. One for... well, in this case, I'm going to be using that kill floor to spawn me back. And then one for the component of the player. So I think what I'm going to do is, well, let's do the player one first. So I'll create a C# script. Dry mouth. Let me answer a couple questions here. Yeah, I have done respawning before, twice now. I did one years back, about 5 years or so back. That was in 3D. And I did them a little while ago as far as just having a spawn point to start at. But this one here is a little bit different. It's going to have multiple spawn points. And as you go through them, you can have different spawn points to spawn at. Hang on one sec. Excuse me. Koopa. Or Kupak. Hi, how you doing? Well, I'm glad you enjoy them. Tell your friends. Tell them all. Okay, so new script. We're going to call this, it's the player component part. So I know I want player in the name. I'm just going to call it player respawn, not res spawn. I know there's a better name I should be calling this, but it's late here. I've been up since early in the morning, so we'll go ahead. We'll start with this one. I'm going to open it up. For all my other tutorials, I've always used Mono Develop, but when it's just me, I use Visual Studio. I'm going to go, not Visual Studio, sorry, Visual Studio Code. So what I'm going to do for this one here is go ahead and actually use that as well. We'll get rid of that. And let's go ahead, get rid of those to start off with. We'll get rid of everything in here. Pretty colors. All right, so I need a place to store it. I'm actually going to go ahead, just make this one public and static. I see no point in trying to hide this at all. And since I'm only going to have one, we don't even really need to be static, but I'm going to go ahead and leave it as static. No, we don't need it. But anyway, I want the transform. And I'm just going to call it spawn point. Or maybe respawn point. I'll call it spawn point. Now, there's a lot of things you could do with this too. You could actually have an array of points. And maybe in your game, you got to unlock your spawn point. So when you hit some sort of waypoint or something in the game, let me go back into Unity for a second. Let's say this is your spawn point, but in order to unlock that, you had some like waypoint or something that you had to do up here. And when you did it, you've unlocked this spawn point. And maybe you can hit a certain key and it opens up all the spawn points you've had unlocked. And then you could just like click on it and teleport to that. You could do it that way as well. But for this here, I just want to keep it super simple. We're just going to have one point. Like I said, when you run into it, it saves off that transform. We could even just save it as a vector 3, to be honest, but I'm going to go ahead and leave it as the transform. Simply because if I decide I want to change it later, I can go and drag this around and it'll automatically update for me. So anyway, with that done, I'm actually going to create one method here too. And it's not going to return anything. I was just thinking what exactly I wanted to do. I'm just going to call it respawn. This way here, if I have, for instance, that kill floor, you jump on it, you die. It does all of the death stuff and anything that involves colliding with it. But for respawning, it's always going to be the same code that I need. And if I put it in the player respawn, if I have a teleporter later and I go through there and I want to throw off different type of particle effects, everything else, eventually I'm going to get to the point in the code where I want to call the respawn. So this just allows me to keep all the actual respawn part of the code in one spot. Yeah, you can put this in any game. It's just respawning. It's not necessarily, I'm just doing it in 2D because these are the assets I have right now on this system. So anyway, respawn. So what I'm going to do is just say transform. I'm going to grab my transform. Maybe. Dot position is equal to spawn point dot position. Now, again, like I said, there's fancy things you can do here as far as maybe making particle systems. Maybe you want to flash your colors, whatever it is. But the baseline of code is this. That'll move you. So I'm going to save that off. I'm going to go and create one for the actual, and let's put it on the player while I'm at it. Shrink some of these down so I can see it. Excuse me. Come on. And I want to make sure I don't accidentally put more than one of these on there. So now if I try to drag it down the line, because it lagged out there, so I was about to try to drag and drop again, in which case I'll get an error like that. So let's go ahead and make one for the spawn point. I don't have a script for it, so create C# script. There we go. We'll open it up. It's a little bit laggy because I'm streaming off the same machine, but that's fine. I'm not under any huge strain here. And the same thing, I want to disallow multi-components. I'm going to make sure that I have a box collider on this. Sorry, required component. So we'll do a type of all right. And I think that's all I need. So in awake, I want to go ahead and I want to make sure this box collider is a trigger. So get component, box collider, box collider 2D. And is trigger is equal to true. Now I'm going to go ahead and, if I remember anyway, I'm going to go ahead and click it in the inspector as well. Sometimes I forget. And I think that's all I really need to do. And this actually should be in the awake part. We'll just leave it there for now. But anyway, set it to be a trigger. That's great. And the only other thing we need now is, since the trigger, we're going to use Ontriggerenter 2D. And what I'm going to say is if the tag was set to player, which I can do, and that's usually the way I do it. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that needs to, there are other ways to do it, and I'm going to try to do something just a little bit different. If you want to know, almost all my other videos, I always check the tag to see if it's the player. If it's the player, then I go ahead and set it. I'm going to do it a little bit different here. So if I collide with it, I'm going to say if other dot, we'll have to do it up here first. But if you get a reference first, so we'll go player respawn, which I'll just call PR, is equal to other dot get component, player respawn. There we go. So we're going to go out anytime something collides with this. We're going to go and check to see if it has a player respawn component attached to it. If it does, so if PR, meaning we have one, then we can do something. And to be honest, I like doing it the other way. If we don't have a player respawn component, return. Don't do anything else. Don't do any of the following lines of code. Just get out. Let me quickly catch up on chat here. I have to scroll up a bit. Just a sec. Yeah, as far as Unity goes, I've been doing it a long time. It's pretty much self-taught. You know, the usual stuff. You go around, maybe when you're first starting out, you hit the forums. There was really no YouTube back then when I first started. Nothing in Unity anyway. Quickly scrolling down. I'm not sure who Rick and Bob are from the Rotor Workshop, but I'm going to say it's a compliment, and well, thank you very much. Hello, let's ride, baby. I'm doing okay. Good to hear. Just want to quickly catch up on chat, part of live streaming. So I don't even to look up and down with the mouse like aiming. Unity has one. I think it was with blend shapes. There's ways to do it. Okay. Looks like I've caught up on the ones that were pertinent. So let's get back in. So we're going to go ahead. If they don't have a component, return. If they do have a component, then we want to go ahead and grab that. Say PR dot, I think I just called it respawn. Yep. And what that's going to do is go ahead and come into this code. It's going to call this method, and it's just going to respawn it. And that's absolutely what I don't want to do. This is for when you hit that kill floor. What I want to do with the spawn point is when you collide with it, if you have that component, go ahead and set that value. So PR dot, and I forget what I called it. Spawn point. PR dot spawn point is equal to transform dot position. And I'm getting an error. Just hang on just a second here. Oh, because I'm saving the transform, not the position. Very distracting song just came on. Scotty doesn't know. I haven't heard that. When was Euro Trip? What was that? Early 2000s? 2003 maybe? Anyway. So that looks good. So now we need some way to respawn us. And I'm going to do that on the kill floor. So we'll go ahead and make a script for that. So I'll create a C# script and I'll say respawn player. I was just going to call it kill floor, but maybe I want to put this on a teleporter or something like that later. I forgot to attach the script up here too. Spawn point. And we'll throw this one on here too. Get rid of the stuff I'm not using. And we'll just allow multiple components. I'm going to do the same thing. I want to make sure that I have a box collider here. Require the component. It's a type of box collider, 2D. All right. Now this time, I'll put it in the right spot. So start, and I'm going to say get component. See how I actually forgot in my inspector for the spawn point to hit is trigger, but at least when I run the game, if I did forget, it'll set it for me automatically. But anyway, get component, box collider 2D. We'll have to go ahead and get the is trigger, and I'm going to equal that to true. And I think that's it. That's all I need for here. Then I'm going to do the exact same thing for the Ontriggerenter as I did here. Except instead of setting the spawn position, I'm going to call the respawn. So Ontriggerenter 2D. And we'll do this. I'll have my player tag this player. Let me just check. If I don't, we'll tag him. I do have him tagged as player. So this time around, we'll do it a little bit differently. We'll check the tag. Something different. So if other, which is the collider 2D that just hit us. Was it tag? Compare tag. The tag I'm looking for is player. Make sure you spell it right. And again, I'm going to do the false version first. So if it's not the player that we just collided with, return. And if it is the player, then we'll quickly go on to do the rest. So now we can go, if it's the player, we know that he has that component on it. So again, player respawn, I will still call PR, and it's going to be equal to other.get component. The component we want is player respawn. And just give me a second. Did I actually do that over here? Oh, yeah, okay. Okay, so we'll go ahead. We got that. Now that we got that, we can just go ahead and say PR dot. I like to check just to make sure. So if not PR, meaning that for some reason it didn't have the component on it, return, get out. It should have the component. We'll just throw that check in there just to make sure. So follow the logic. If it's the player, if we hit anything but the player, stop. If it was the player, continue. We'll go ahead, try to get the component. If we could not get the component, stop. Get out of here. Continue if we did. So if we got the component, now we can just say PR dot. This is where we call the respawn. There we go. Get rid of some white spaces here. And I think that's it. Looks like I got something to update here. I'm going to grab that update while I'm here. There we go. Well, it's grabbing the... since there's been a lot of development in Visual Studio Code, you get a lot of updates fairly frequently, every few days. But they're usually not big. This is actually the longest update I've had, actually. Hopefully it doesn't break anything. Oh, mono. 4.6. While it's doing that, let me quickly check up. Mob's World. Mob World, I remember that. Okay. And this is done as well, so I'll go ahead and close this. I'm going to jump back into Unity. Save it off. Let's go ahead. We'll drop this in. Yeah, okay, we'll drop this in Respawn Player. I'm already thinking of one scenario that's not going to work. And when we start off, we don't have a spawn point. So we're probably going to get an error. So I got a great idea. Let's go ahead. Put the first right here where we drop. Then I'll drop them and let's put one there. Let's put another one over here. I actually don't need that last one. So there we go. We got 1, 2, 3 spawn points. Let's grab the player. I'm going to shrink everything up. And to be honest, I got the box colliders on them, but I think I'm going to need them big. Well, we'll leave them as there is. They should automatically switch the trigger for me. Let's grab the player. Let's see what happens. The game starts up. He falls down through there. We should have actually named these spawn points. Let's do that now, just so it's easier to track which one's which. And I'm just going to put, I'm just going to number them. Spawn point 1. Spawn point 2. And guess which one's next? There we go. Spawn point 3. So we'll start it off. Player doesn't have anything set. We're going to let him fall through the first one. He automatically gets that first one for us. And if I were to die, he respawns there again. Let's go get that second one. So jump up. Boom. Got the second one. If I die, boom. Puts me at the second one. Let's go get that third one. If I die, boom. Let's go all the way over here. Oh, I got the second one mistake. Got the first one. I'm going to see if I can try to get over here to this side. And of course you die. Brings you back to the first one. Now you can go ahead and add some particle effects and sound and whatever you want for when you hit those things. And I could go ahead and hide this since it's just a trigger. But anyway, that's actually all you need to do for a multiple spawn system as far as respawning goes. If you have any questions, let me know down below in the comments. And that's probably it for the actual lesson part of it. I'm just going to go ahead and answer questions if anyone has any in chat. So if you're just here for the lesson, that part's done. Let's just do the chat. And of course, we'll see what else goes on. Just one sec. Excuse me. Okay, I'm going to scroll up because I know there's lots of chat going on. I just haven't seen what everyone was talking about. Okay. If anyone out there in chat has any questions, by all means, let me know. What is the code line to respawn? It's just one line. It's player respawn. Right there. Just switch the position. And then when you die, there's a few things here I do. Like I said, I would check just to make sure that it's the player. If it is the player, check to see he has that respawn component on him. If he doesn't have the respawn component, get out of there. If he does have the respawn component, then call the respawn method. Then down here is also where you can throw up your particle systems and whatever else. I'd make that a separate method and call it in here. Then, of course, we'll save this off. Then, of course, the spawn points. All you're doing is just, when they collide with it, if they have the component, set it. See any other questions? I'm glad you liked it, Oliver. Good. We'll see. I don't mind streaming. What time it is here? I gotta get to bed early. I've got class tomorrow. It's 9. I've been up since 3, so AM, not PM. So I'll stream a little bit longer. Let's go ahead and throw some particle systems up when you hit these respawn things. I don't feel like making particle systems. Let's just go download some. Release block city, please. I'm not sure if that's just your username in Discord or if there's some sort of message that I'm supposed to understand there. But either way, welcome to the chat. Okay, so whoops. Ooh, level 11. What do we got here? We got traffic road racing kit. That's free. Let's get it. One of the benefits of a golem pack. It was just the other day I was talking to someone. We're making a game and I wanted some golems. Are they animated? Doesn't matter. We'll animate them later. Give me just a sec. All right, there we go. I'm just setting some Discord up. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and get this. Or did I already do it? Let's see. And there's one of the magic shields, 2D. Whoops. These have particle effects in them? I think they're actually just icons, right? Looks that way. I'll get it. That's pretty cool. I may end up using those. Okay, well, that was a little bit of an aside. I'm going to quickly grab those while we go look for particle systems. I use elemental almost every project. Let's see if I can find something a little bit different. Let's go ahead. We'll check this one out. Spread the love. Download this one into our project. And for those that are watching that are in Discord, you're more than welcome to join me in the group room 1 chat. I do not have your chat going through to YouTube though. Well, that's downloading. Let's check chat. Glad to see so many new people in chat. Welcome. Normally, I'd like to stream earlier and probably on a weekend. But like I said at the beginning of the video, I would just happen to be sitting down to do it. And this was the video I was going to make for tomorrow morning. And I thought, let's just go ahead and stream it. Now, to be fair, since I just put a video out, at 7? I probably shouldn't be streaming because if that video gets buried. But anyway, different topic. Yeah. Import. Showed up on a different monitor. See, I'll just grab it all for now. Import it. So this is the Buff Loop FX by Dr. Game. That's got 5 stars at 81 reviews. That's pretty good. I may have to restart it if we go ahead and want the sound as well. Oh, okay. Fixed. Great. Let's go see what he's got. Now, because I am streaming and I'm dedicating most of my resources to streaming, it's a little bit laggy, but that's okay. So, icons, materials, script, sounds, textures, no prefabs. And it loops. That actually looks pretty good, doesn't it? I like that. Not what I'm looking for, though. Another looper, but we'll check it out anyway. Oh, it's got subparticle systems. We have to turn them all off. I don't feel like dealing with it. I was hoping there was just something quick that I can grab that shot some fire or something into the air. Oh, okay. That's actually pretty cool, isn't it? I like it. The glowing effect. That one's too big. That's just the background. Whoops. That's actually pretty good. I just need it not to loop. Oh, good. It doesn't have like 100 different things under it. Now I think what I'm... So when I hit it, it goes off. That's going to go off. It's a little longer than I'd like, but honestly, I'm not going to sit here and spend an hour making particle systems that I do like. I'm just going to stick with that one. I'll create a folder. Pre-gags. Oh, I did have a prefabs one. Didn't see it. Yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and put it in like this. I am going to change the name of it. And I'm going to call it spawn point particles. Now, I went ahead and added all these in without them actually being a prefab. And I should have done that. And we'll go ahead and we'll redo it. But let's go ahead. We'll grab one. Anyone will do. We'll just drag it in. We now have a spawn point. I'm going to go ahead and jump into that spawn point script. I'm going to go ahead and create a serialized field. Game object. I'm going to call it particle prefab. Then we'll come down here and we'll reset that. We'll do it above it. It doesn't really matter where, above or below. It both happens in the same frame, so. Yeah, so I called it particle prefab dot set active true. Oh, what am I doing? That's a Boolean value. That's what I thought. And then I am going to need somewhere to turn this off. Turn off particle system. Triple F Storm, welcome to the Discord. I'm glad you like it. Okay. Looks like most people are just chatting amongst themselves, so keep going. Looks like there's one here. And I'd have to go back and take a look at Crossy Roads. I can't remember how they had the character selection. Oh, is it just like a spinny swipe thing? I've seen tutorials on that. I'm not sure if I have one, but I know I've seen other ones. Anyway, so let's go back to this. Turn particle system off. I'm going to go ahead and invoke this. And this is called turn particle system off. And I need it in some arbitrary time. I'm going to say 5 seconds. I'm not sure how long it took. Maybe it was only a 3-second particle system. I'm not sure. I'm just going to say 5. And what we'll do is come down here and just say particle prefab dot set active false. Capital F. Can you tell I've been in Python lately? Now, I think that should work. Just turning it on and off should activate it or deactivate it. So I'll save this off. I'm going to jump back inside of Unity. I'm actually going to go ahead and delete these other ones. I'm going to change this to spawn 0.1. And now we need a particle system. So you could technically have different particle systems for different spawn points. And let's also go ahead and move it. Oh, wait, I have to instantiate it. Sorry, what I meant to do was to add it as a child. There we go. Have it deactivated by default. There we go. So we got our box collider. So let's go. We'll test this out. Why can I not see it? There we go. Because it's way down there for some reason. That's fine. Save scene. Let's try it. It didn't go off. Why not? So that's not the same as clicking the simulate button. Okay, we'll just instantiate it. I was hoping I could just leave it as a child, turn it on and off, but we'll instantiate it instead. Makes it easier to swap out later on anyway. And it was called particle prefab. We'll do it at transform.position. And we're also going to use transform dots. Oh, sorry, quaternion dot identity. Well, that'll spawn it. I have to think of a way of despawning it now. We could just get a reference to it and then delete it. That'd be the easiest way to do it. I'm just trying to decide if I want to keep it, though. I don't think so. I think I am just going to go ahead and get a reference to it and delete it. Yeah, I'm going to do it that way. So game objects. I don't really like this way, but hey, it's late and I just want to get it done. So didn't I call it temp particles is equal to what we instantiate? And of course, we'll have to typecast it. We'll do it as a game object. And then down here, we'll just delete it. So destroy. Oh, what am I doing? I don't even need this anymore. Duh. It's late. Destroy temp particles. Whoop. There's going to be a lot of mistakes here. And let's do it. I was doing it in 5 seconds before. This way we don't need a constant reference to it. We can just say game object temp particles. Then we can come up here and get rid of this. There we go. Much better. So what we did was we went ahead. We're instantiating this particle system. We're creating it as a game object. And then 5 seconds from now, we're telling it to destroy it. And it doesn't pause for 5 seconds here. It sends off that destroy command like a coroutine. And after 5 seconds, then that destroy is called. So now let's try it. There we go. And we see the system here. And it's gone. There's actually a little bit of sound as well going off. Now, ideally, you'd have your particle system sculpted to kind of like fade in, fade out, or have some sort of effect you want. I just grabbed something that looked cool off the internet. All right, so I'm actually going to go ahead. I'm just going to copy this one instead of dragging a new one in. Business trip. Did you know Stacy's mom has got it going on? And just to show that you can have multiple ones, we'll just quickly do this again. Let me just quickly catch up on chat. Well, let's go off first. There we go. This one. And I'm watching up here. And there we go. We've gone ahead and activated things. Of course, you can have them be hidden and like turn the sprite render off. Obviously, you'd probably want some sort of better visual for it. But there we go. We've gone ahead and added a particle system and a little bit of sound, although you can't hear it. Let me just quickly check chat here. I'm not sure what you're talking about the last stream. Last stream, I was making a roguelike, which, by the way, I got a few things I got to fix on that. I should do that before I go to bed. What time are we at? We got up time. We got about 15 more minutes for the stream. Take it solo wing 88 like that? I'm glad. Okay. That's pretty much all I really want to do. Cover on that one. I'll go ahead and upload this project to Patreon for those that are actual patrons, and they can get the whole project. I actually want to go ahead and make those fixes in... Well, I should keep that in a separate video. But I do want to go for about another 15 minutes here in case anyone has any questions. Make sure to ask them now. Now, I'm not sure. Is there any way to tag your comments? Like on Twitch, you can... You know, say like at BurgZerg Arcade and they show up at the top in red. Is there a way to do that? I like when people are just chatting with each other, but it makes it hard to see. Either way. I'll check out some of these other particle effects. Well, he's got icons for him too. Recovery hold and ghost fire. Oh, lost my mouse. There we go. So that's the ghost fire. That's just a pretty good particle system pack. Remember, it's free as well. That would have been a nice one to activate. Maybe when you die. Let's do that. Whoops. Keep thinking it's running. Ghost fire. I might do that one. I like that. So I do the exact same thing. I keep thinking it's running and I'm trying to stop it. I'm going to go ahead and use that one for turning off or for when you die. Oh, here we go. Great. So if anyone has any questions that they want to direct to me, use the at BurgZerg Arcade sign like Soulwing and Hamsterbite did. That way there, I don't have to read through all of the different comments to figure out which ones are for me. I just know. It'll make things easier and a little quicker. And I assume you just use the at BurgZerg Arcade, right? Looks that way. All right. So we're going to go ahead, do the exact same thing that we did for here. I made the public transform. This is the spawn point. I want to kill him. Let's play respawn player. So right up here. Serialized field. It's a game object. It's going to be particle prefab. And we'll go in, and right here. When the player touches, and we know it is an actual player because they have the respawn. When we call that, we'll do the exact same thing here. So we'll say game object. This one I'm just going to call GO. It's going to be equal to instantiate. What we want to instantiate is the particle prefab. We want to instantiate it at transform.position where we, oh, not transform.position. Let's do it with a point where they touch. Let me see if I remember how to do this. Other dot, was it hit? Point. There's a way to get the exact spot they touched. I'm trying to remember what it was. I don't think it was off the rigid body, right? I thought it had hit in it. Well, let's check the docs. Opened up in a different window. Pause. Oh, the wrong thing over here. It's not where I want to search. I'm just a kid. It was a contact array, wasn't it? So this is the method collider.collisionenter 2D. I know I used this in the space shooter one. I just forget how it worked. I didn't even see that. A hamster bite. Thank you for the $5 donation. That's actually good because I'm almost out. There we go. My first donation on YouTube. So that's what it looks like, eh? I see it has a little countdown timer as well at the top. So I missed it. It happened a while ago and I missed it. Sorry about that. But thanks nonetheless. So you can actually go ahead and exact point. So it's contact.point. Am I going to have to go watch one of my old videos to figure it out? It's other dot. No. It's not just contact point, is it? I'm gonna have to look this up. Might be faster just to jump into the code. There we go. So for each contact point in contact. So here's where we go. So it's contact out point. I'm just going to turn it was just people chatting in Discord, which I encourage, but I hear a lot of it. I'm just going to mute it for now, just a bit while I figure this out. All right, so here's what we want. We want to go ahead and grab all of the contacts inside of the contact points. So it's collision.contacts. And I know it's the first one. That's the only one I'm interested in. And apparently we'd have to switch this over because I'm doing it as a trigger. And it might not work in triggers because you need the collision and not the trigger. So I'm actually going to switch this over then to on collision enter. And I'll just do it up top here. So on collision enter 2D. And good, it's still other. So I can come in and still check to see that tag. So I'm going to grab all the code that I have in here. I'm actually just going to go ahead and delete all of it. So I'll upgrade this from a trigger to a collision. It's not really an upgrade. I'm just changing it. So now it's, oh wait, now it's a collision though. Okay, we'll just fix this up. So now this is an array. I just want the first one. That's a vector 2. I might need a vector 3. Let's see what happens. So we're going to go ahead and instantiate this particle prefab. Destroy. That game object 5 seconds from now. And this will destroy anything that hits it. So that means I'm going to go ahead and comment this out. I still need a way to detect. Let's just use a combo. We're going to use on collision enter. Anything that hits it, oh wait, then I can't have it as a trigger. So I was going to set up to be the collision. Anything that hits it spawns a particle effect. Anything that, and if it's a player, they go ahead and respawn it. Could just do it this way. Didn't really want to do it that way, but we will. Can we grab the game object directly from here too? We'll do the transform. Let's just all transforms. Okay, that should still work. I kind of would like to break that up, sit down, think about it, and break it up to be able to use the on collision and the on trigger enter. Now we have to come up here and make sure that we're not a trigger anymore. Okay. Let's try this. Come on. Oh, we did not set up a prefab to spawn. What was that? And I can't remember which one it was. We'll just grab one. I think it was this one. It was either this one or the ghost fire. Come on. Why did you not save? There we go. Save it off in case we crash. And let's go ahead and jump in. Woot. Not quite what was supposed to. It was delayed. We're going to have to take a look at that. I don't know if it's because I'm streaming and recording at the same time. It wasn't delayed so much that time, but it's not catching it right away. It's not a trigger, but I'm still following through it. It's not detecting me right away. See, it doesn't detect me till there. Why is it detecting me so late? So as soon as something touches it, we're going to go ahead, instantiate the particle system, set it destroy 5 seconds from now, and it really doesn't matter where we put this line. Just for testing, for the sake of sanity, I am going to go ahead and put it at the end. No, never mind. I'll leave that there. Then we'll check to see if it's not the player, return. If it is the player, go ahead, get his component. If he does not have a component for whatever reason, return. But if he does have the component, go ahead and respawn him. Let me check. Let me check. Hi, Sigma. How you doing? I'll try to get some of these streams earlier. So I'm going to go in, let it start up. So I don't know if it's just not detecting it because of I'm streaming and it's taking most of the resources. Oh. But it's not detecting it till it's down there. Or is it? So we can clearly see that. Oh, stop that. My capsule is touching. It's inside of here. It's not a trigger. Neither is my capsule. I don't need it expanded. Why is my ground trigger not showing up? My gizmo's not showing up. Nah, it doesn't really matter. Oh, that's one thing I didn't do is go ahead and set my ground trigger to a size. No, I did. Anyway, that's has nothing to do with it. Let's go 1 frame ahead. So it respawned me when I paused it. Okay, it is detecting, but for some reason, it's spawning my particle system down there. Okay, the center of the particle system it's spawning it too low. So this here is in the wrong spot, but it should not be. After here, I am going to debug out that position. If I get it inside of the parenthesis, I will. Save it off, tab back in. Come on. Come on. There we go. And drop in. And take a look. So the X and the Y, 4.7. So it is spawning at 4.7, and it's saying I'm hitting at 4.7, but I'm clearly not. So far, I fall through. Why is it getting the wrong position? It's not getting an offset. Anyway, let's keep checking. So for each contact point, which we'll just call contact in other dot contacts. I will debug.log contact dot position. No, point, sorry. So this will give me all of the points that it hits. What do I do here? Oh. There we go. I meant to debug or comment at that line. So this will give me all of them if I hit more than once. But even still, I still generally want the first one. And of course, I fell twice. But again, I'm still only getting the first one. Let's try a different particle system. I don't think that's it. Well, let's eliminate it. Apparently that was it. Its position. Oh, you know what it is? If you open it up. The position underneath of the particle systems. This is relative to the parent. So yeah, these are just spawning underneath it. That's why it was offset. Should have looked at that first. And I'm going to go ahead and just leave that there. But there we go. We've gone ahead and added a particle system using Ontriggerenter 2D as well. So now we have one for when we touch a point and also when we die. And this will work for anything. If we drop anything down here, it'll go off. Oh, crap. Now we just got to make them move and have spikes pop up. Anyway, going longer than I meant to. I did not mean for that to take that long. But like I said, I've been up late, but hopefully you've learned something as well as me. I'm going to hang around a few more minutes in case anyone else has any questions. Remember to make sure that you use the @BurgZerg Arcade so they stand out a little bit better for me. And let me just quickly scroll through. Oh, is someone telling me? Contact point 2D.point. And it's something I haven't used in a while, so I forgot. I'll go ahead and leave the code up for that. I'm sure most people are going to have questions about it. So there's the whole Untitled 2D. Glad you liked it, Michael. A lot longer than meant for it. Originally, it was just going to be a 5-minute video for tomorrow that I threw up on YouTube, but well, now it's a 1-hour stream. No, I can't keep going. I got to get ready for bed. I've been up a long time, and I got classes to teach tomorrow, so I've got to make sure I get some sleep. Plus, I've got a ton of phone calls to make. There we go. Now, we'll be working on hooking up controllers soon to not only to all our different devices to play and test on, but also having them hook up to Unity so you can test them inside the Unity editor as well. I'm using a SteelSeries Stratus XL, but honestly, I'll probably stick with like USB ones that you can plug in. I'm trying to think. I think I have a couple Xbox One controllers I'm not using, so I'll go ahead and maybe try hooking one of them up. I haven't tried an Xbox One. I've done PS3 and Xbox 360. I could try the PS4. I haven't actually tried those yet. I think you can get them working though. But anyway, I know what videos are not coming up, and I'm not sure. I know I have a couple Raspberry Pi videos coming up as far as the electronics go. Oh, I got my schedule up here. Oh, this weekend I'll start my RetroPie build. So if you're into creating old arcade systems, I'm going to be working on a build for that for my son. What else we got up there? Oh, the HoloLens. It looks like Sunday I'll have a HoloLens setup video. So for those that have a HoloLens or are thinking of getting one, we'll go ahead and get a video on how to quickly get that set up to Unity so you can start using that. And there you go. This is supposed to be Friday's video. Saturday's RetroPie. Sunday is HoloLens. If you've got anything you'd like to see, go ahead, let me know down below. And I can take a look to see if I can put it up. Poor Billy. Multiplayer, I've got 2 or 3 up on my YouTube channel already. I don't know. I know later on, closer to summer, I'll probably be doing some quick ones, but probably nothing too in-depth because it changes from game to game. But I'll probably just go ahead and work on the basics, like a lobby room. You can go into the lobby room, instantiate a game, and you have some sort of one of the players being the master client, and he tells everyone what to do. I'm not going to get into anything like MMOs or anything like that. It's just too much work. I don't have the time to sit down and work all that out. And to be honest, if you're asking those questions, you probably don't have the resources to implement it either. So going out, renting a server, putting all this code up on it, all the testing, everything else, it costs a lot of money. It takes a ton of time. So for now, if you're asking for it, I would just stick to like a master client. Let it work that way. Okay, does not look like there's any more questions. So I'm going to go ahead and end this one here. And I'll probably see you, well, in the next video or the next live stream, whenever that is. Bye-bye. And thanks again to Hamster Bite. I'll make sure to buy a coffee tomorrow. Bye-bye.